Hello, welcome back, and now we're going to look at this example. This is some contoured data, I think, coming from our contouring and surface, which I think was kind of exercise 5 that we've done this semester. So I think I'll use this to maybe show you how to create a trail. So if we zoom in on the data, we see the contour intervals are labeled at, I would assume, every 5 feet. I don't know whether we're in feet or meters, but we'll find out soon. I guess one thing we can do is check units. We're in feet. Okay, so let's say that maybe in this low zone here there's a road that exists, and we want to create a trail starting at the base of this mountain and going to the top of the mountain here. Okay, so the first thing to do then is to start planning on an alignment. So go back to Home and then go to your alignment creation tools, and you can add a description of your alignment if you want. Here we can just call it trail. Hit OK. It'll bring us the alignment layout tools. What I recommend is going to this first button here on the left and select, well, before we select tangent with curves and tangent without curves, let's decide the curvature. This is set, this first curve here. There's several. I'm just going to bring up the default. Notice that its curve is 200. Well, that might be great for a roadway, but it's not so good for a trail. So I think in our example that we're doing for the class, let's see, I think we set those curves, maybe the radius of curves maybe 8 meters. I'm not really sure. But let's set this maybe at 20 feet and hit OK. So now we will, as we go back to using the tangent with curves, we'll have by default a 20 foot curve. So we're going to start with the starting point. Maybe I'll pick this flat area here, and as you start making alignments, you want to kind of switch back and forth up this mountain side here. So I'm just going to kind of make some switchbacks till we reach the summit, and then hit OK, hit enter. So that's the alignment. So that was just done quite hurriedly, and maybe it's not the best in terms of grade. I think I want to change this and end this right at the beginning. So remember, you can click on alignment, click on the end, and you can just drag it to where you want it and adjust the alignment any way you want. Maybe we might try adjusting this one down slope a little bit, get this just a little more uniform. I can see some problems here. We've gone across and slightly downhill here, so maybe we'll bring this one back over into that range. Same with this one. Maybe we're going back downhill, which makes no sense at all. So we'll just move this PI back into here. And okay, let's take a look and see what we've done. So I'll just hit my enter key. I guess that didn't do me any good. Let's go now to creating a profile. So we should have a profile tab here. Let's select it. We're going to create a surface profile. So we want a profile that'll max this surface. It says what surface we're going to select. Existing ground. I don't think that's much more we need to add to this, and hit add. And then hit OK. and I guess it didn't do anything. Let's try this again. Profile, create surface profile. Hit add. I've got it twice now. So I'll remove one of them. And we'll draw in profile view maybe. Okay, it brings up this general thing here. I don't think there's too much we want to change here, so I'll hit create profile view. And then it'll ask me where I want to display this. I'll maybe just show it right here. And there we have our profile. And as you can tell, we didn't do too bad of a job. We've got it fairly uniform. There's just one point here that might need some adjusting, so I'm going to zoom in about station 29 plus naught, so we'll go to 29, which is right in this curve, and it appears that we could have gone a little too far down the side slope, so we'll go ahead and select the alignment, pick that and maybe drag it back. Let's see, back into maybe back into that range, maybe right there, and then check our profile line and it'll update automatically. So we got rid of that one. There's a few other minor ones I guess we could look at. Let's look at this one between 7 and 8, station 7 and 8. These are probably mostly in the turns. Yeah, so let's see. Let's maybe grab it here. Snug it in a little bit more. Maybe the same with here. Snug it in a little bit more. See what we've done. Okay, well, other than this one, maybe here at station 11, let's just take a look at that one. Okay. So I've got a fairly constant grade up this slope, so I think I'm going to stop there. The next we want to do is define the design grade line, and I'm just going to use one constant grade all the way through. You don't have to do that. You can break the grade into different line segments if you want for steeper and less steep portions, but since I've got this at a pretty constant grade, I'm just going to use a constant profile line. So we're going to go back to profile here, and notice here we're following the terrain. That's what we used the first time. This time we're going to create a profile that follows a grade line. So we'll select that, and it says select the profile to select create, and we'll create it in the same profile box as our existing ground. We'll leave that as design profile. Hit OK, and our profile layout tools come out, and let's just see what we have here. Let's draw with tangents, and I'm just going to come in and specify the starting point. You could do different tangent lines up and down if you want, but since I've got this all at a pretty constant grade, I'm just going to come up and select the end and just have one constant grade throughout the whole alignment. So that'll make life kind of easy. Okay, so we're done with that step. Okay, so before we go on, we need to change this alignment to a feature line. The grading routines they're going to use don't grade from alignment, they grade from feature lines. So if we go to the feature line selection here, we're going to create a feature line from alignment. So this will turn the alignment to a feature line. So I'm just going to click on it, and then this pops up, and this is site 1. The profile, we don't want to use the existing ground. Our trail, design trail profile is layout 1. That's the one that we laid out for the in the profile view with the blue line, I believe. And then hit OK, and I'll just skip through these. Hit OK, and now if we hover over to it, it calls it a feature line instead of an alignment. So that takes care of that step. Now we're ready to start our grading. So our grading tab is here. We can use the grading creation tools. You'll get frustrated because you can't change this box. The way you can do that is go over to your settings and go into your grading settings. We're going to use the grading criteria set, so it's this button right here. We're going to change, notice we're going to grade to a distance for the first part of this, so I'm going to select grade to a distance. Now this is to create the trail itself. This is the distance. Since we're going to go left and right of the feature line for our trail, this will be the half width of the trail. So let's say it's a 6-foot trail, so we'll create the half width at 3, and we're not going to project it from the center line 3 feet out to the edge using a slope. We're going to use that as a grade, and I've told you in the instructions for this assignment that for the Hogle Zoo trail we're going to do that at -2% crown or slope to the side. So I'll put that in and hit OK. Now if you notice, those upgraded here. So that's how you can do it. Okay, I think everything else looks good here. We have a surface in here. If you don't, you can select it here, but it's showing up. So the next thing to do is start launching the grade to distance creation tool. So you do that by launching this, and I don't think there's anything we want to change here, so I'm going to hit OK. And it's asking me select the feature, so I'm going to select the feature line, select the grading slide. Well, I'll do right side first, so I'll just go on to the right side here, and then apply entire length, yes, and then it's specify the distance. Remember, our half width of the trail is 3 feet, so it's coming up with the defaults that we filled up, so we'll just hit our enter key. We're going to grade according to a grade, so we'll hit OK. We're going to use a -2% grade, hit OK, and then select the feature. We're going to select the feature line here, apply entire length, say yes, and specify the grading distance 3 feet. I think we're doing this again for some reason. Grade 2%. And let's see if it's created it. I just guess I didn't see it. So it created both the left and right. I'm used to these putting a different color. I've created them both, but it looks like I've created 2 of them, which I don't need. So I need this first one here. This is the original alignment line, now changed to a feature line. So I'm going to just hit escape and hit this key and delete that out. So let's go back now into the creation tool again. Create grading, select the grading feature. I'll select the feature line, select the side, so we'll go to the left this time, do the entire length, distance 3 feet, yes. We're going to use a grade, yes, -2% grade, and we're done. Okay, so we have both sides. So you can think of these as the edge of the trail, the left and right edge, and then the middle line is the center line of the trail. Okay, the next thing to do is really to take care of the side slopes. Those will be cut and fill side slopes depending on the topography. So now we're going to have to change our way of doing this. We're going to change and grade to the surface. So we're going to grade from these edge of trails down and match the existing surfaces. These are going to be cut and fill slopes, and we'll leave this at the default 2 horizontal to 1 vertical. That's fairly common, so that's what I suggest you use also in your homework, so we'll not change those. Let's see, we're going to, I'm not going to change this cut slope display. Yes, we're going to be grading down to existing ground. So I think we're all set here. So we'll just create grading. Select the feature. I'll do the right side first. Apply the entire length. Yes. We're going to do a slope this time, so it's coming up with a slope. 2 horizontal, 1 vertical. That's correct. The fill format the same. We're going to do it to a slope, and 2 horizontal, 1 vertical for any fill slopes, and then it'll go ahead and create the grading. So if we zoom back out, at least on one side, looks like the fill slopes are probably green and the cut slopes are red as we look at this. So now we just have to do this for the other side. So we'll come back and select the left hand side of the trail. Tire length, yes. Gonna just hit my return, yes. Slope, 2 horizontal to 1 vertical, yes. We're going to use a slope for the fill, 2 horizontal, 1 vertical, and it'll create the grading on that side. So I've pretty much finished this simple exercise. In summary, on top of a contour, I created an alignment. I created existing ground profile of that alignment. I also then came and created a constant design grade profile on this alignment. And then I was able to take that alignment and convert it to a feature line so I could use it for grading. And I created the shoulders using feature lines on both sides here of the trail, and then I used the computer to calculate the cuts and fill portions. So these are where you can think of this from the shoulder of the line out to that line. If this is a fill slope on a 2 horizontal, 1 vertical, is where that slope would catch the existing slope. So that gives you the widths or dimensions of your cut and fill as you go on. Of course, then you can also ask the program to give you your cut and fill quantities. So that concludes this. This is what you would do for your homework also. You would come to this point, then generate the 4 different types of plots that I want you to do and turn them in. So I hope you had a good semester. This should be a fairly easy exercise. It should take you no more than maybe an hour or two. So we'll hope to see you in class. Bye.